Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of Pacific Rift actually. We're gonna be doing a couple of episodes, we're gonna be covering a couple of different regions, but for the pilot episode, we're gonna be having Malaysia TLC as the focus right now. We have Jeffery Vyprex Chan from Fire Dragoon, and we have Poon saying OzoraVeki back from his adventures in Taiwan, back on KLH, this time in a new role, AD carry. And our focus for today's show is we're gonna be running over TLC Malaysia teams. We're gonna be kind of exploring how the new teams are expected to do, just generally how the brackets are expected to shape up by playoffs by the end of the season, stuff along those lines. So I'm gonna let my guests introduce themselves a little bit right now. Jeffrey, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, sure. I'm Jeffrey. Hi, I think you guys would know me. Basically, I'm now in Fire Dragoon. I'm basically handling their more on the management side. I'm doing their business management. I'm generally managing all the teams, all the managers, and also the business side of things. So yeah, not only league, I handle everything about esports right now in Malaysia.
Right, okay, cool. And Ozora?
I'm focusing on OzoraVeki. Previously carried captain and went to HKE for a while, for like 3 months, and then now I'm coming back to carriage captain, a new role ADC, and nice to see you guys again.
Yeah, great to have you guys on the show. Yeah, welcome back. Actually, I just want to touch on something you mentioned, Jeffrey earlier on. You're not actually handling League in particular, right? So who would be doing that right now? Is it Julian or?
Actually, the one managing the team right now is Julian. He's like the official manager of the team.
His IGN would be
Winter.
Okay.
WYNTR.
Okay.
So he basically is one of the many different managers that we have in many different titles. So we have like every single game around: Overwatch, League, Dota, CS:GO, and FIFA. These are the 5 main games that we have right now.
Cool. Does his role just cover managing, or does he also like coach the team?
Right now, because we do not have an coach yet, or maybe not for this period at all, then we will have to rotate. Sometimes I will help out the team, sometimes he will come in as well.
Right, so no like full-time coach?
Yeah, we do not have any because it's pretty hard to find one in Malaysia. We tried to find, not successful so far.
I see, okay, cool. But with the players coming in, alright, of course you have Zayn, Ribena, you have, what's his name, Hoki in support as well?
Yep.
So I guess they're more veterans, but besides that, the players, okay, 3 out of 5 are veterans, so that's a pretty good ratio. But you have 2 rather new players to the team. Do they have any issues gelling with like the more professional side of things?
When it comes to gelling of the team, definitely there are issues which is also why for the past, I think 2-3 weeks we use it like generally just to gel the team together. Especially when it comes to our 2 younger players, JLKC, Hockey, even Vita, all these are like probably 17 years old. They are not even legitimate to even sign a contract right now. So when it comes to contract, even there's also a lot of things that we need to settle there. And then the older ones are like Jonathan, Joshua, Zayn, Ribena, as well as also Hockey. They're all over 21s, 22. So like the mindset is a bit different. Some of them are more playful. Some of them have a different mindset of how the game should be done.
So how's the team in the sense of team environment? Who would be like the captain, the father figure, I guess, who keeps them in check?
Right now, I guess like the most try-hard person in the team is definitely Zayn. So most of the time he would try to take leadership for all the things which is done in the team. So like vote reviews, after games discussions, everything it will be done from his side. And then from like our management side, for myself, for Winter, we try to kind of guide them to the right direction because at the end of the day they are still players. So we try to give them an outside view because there's no exact coach for the team right now.
So Zayn would be the captain as well?
Yeah, he is the captain of the team so far.
Okay, and yeah. That kind of brings me over to what I wanted to touch on with KLH. You mentioned that you were the former captain of KLH. Are you still reprising that role, or is it going to be someone else in the team right now?
Yeah, I'm back as the captain of the team again, yeah.
So team environment-wise, team, let's say in-game communication, shot calling-wise, with you coming back on the team, is there going to be a big change, or are you guys going to stick to what really worked for the team last season? Because you are playing AD carry, right? So it's going to be I would say a lesser focus on like team shot calling and stuff like that, more on your individual mechanics, or am I wrong in that how that works with your team?
The team, I would say I'm giving a lot of ideas in game, also outside of game. So what matter the most for shot caller as an AD carry is you need to know what you are going to do when you shot call. You are not be able to do what the support do, like, or jungler that you can just lead people to position and positions. What you are going to do is, before the game, you need to make sure, when I say 10A means you already know what are we going to do in order to secure our plan and to actually pull off our plan. So I have to do a lot of coaching kind of stuff with Bunny. So we know what we are going to do before going to game, know which plan we have to do, what kind of situation and stuff. So everything is about the same, but we have one more voice now. Yeah.
I see. Okay, that's very interesting stuff. I'm not too sure if this is a particular area we can touch on too much, but I just wanted to bring up the topic of your coach right now as well. So I do believe there was a change from last season. It's no longer gonna be Crow.
Yep.
Yeah, do you want to elaborate a little bit more on that, or is that under wraps right now?
Actually, Crow was never really the coach for the team since Bipolar or Bunny came to the team. So last year he's already doing the manager kind of role in the team, and so losing him doesn't really hurt the team in terms of the game, but it does put a lot more burden for Bipolar or Bunny, because now he have one more job to do and he have to play, coach, and also manage the team at the same time. That's why he's very busy now and a lot of burden on him.
I see. Alright.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting stuff. So I just want to really wrap up this topic really quickly. Do you guys have anything you want to add about your teams right now before we head into the segment about Malaysia TLC as a whole?
Not much. Don't have.
Okay, cool. So this season, we're seeing some similar faces coming in, but there are also a lot of really new teams coming out. Do you guys want to touch on any of them right now? Because as I said earlier on, I'm not too familiar with Malaysia TLC, especially the newer teams. Have you guys had any practice against them? Have you guys talked to any of the newer players coming in?
We do scream some of them, but if you want to know really in depth and everything, then not really because I think most of them are still trying to hide stuff right now. They want to pull off some random things in the first week or something like that so not much info in terms of how they are gonna play the game.
I see.
And I think KLH don't really scream them at all, right?
Yeah, KLH don't scream Malaysia team at all.
It's a bit of a waste of time.
And then it's like, but a lot of new players, but I still do think this is the most competitive TLC in Malaysia since like quite a long time ago. It's actually interesting to watch TLC this split if you want to watch. Yeah.
You heard that,
because
everyone?
actually when you come to think about the players, like they are all new teams, but they are not exactly all new players, because I think the only team which is filled with new players is Climax, which I really don't know anything about them. The only thing I know is they are from my hometown. My hometown heroes. Perak, let's go. That's all. Because if you look into like Eternity Esports, Formod, Twice, Orange, Nirvana, all these are all actually players from the previous season of TLC as well. In fact, Formod goes all the way to 2014, 2005, that kind of year. So they are all like kind of like known people in the scene. It's just that they are making a comeback.
Right, so right now I'm gonna just run through the teams that are listed right now in the TLC MY circuit, and then you guys can just like add a little bit of stuff if you wanna. So Climax right now, we all mentioned, we don't really know too much about them. I saw Garina's post about it. It didn't really give me much information as well, but let's just move on past Climax since we don't really have too much information there. I want to touch very quickly on a Tubes team. Let me try to find that one up. It's not going to be in any particular order, so we're just going to jump around from the teams as I find the information on Garina's website.
It's the Formod team.
The Formod team.
Yeah.
You know what is Formod? Fun fact.
No, let us know.
4 men, 1 dog.
4 men, 1 dog.
That's why his logo has a dog there.
Who's the dog?
Last time there's 4 Malay in the team and 1 Chinese in the team, so guess who's the dog?
Interesting stuff.
This is just trivia, no like
trivia.
Now we got 4 Malay in the team and 1 Korean.
So I don't know who's the dog lah.
Interesting thinking.
I don't know who lah. But yeah, this team actually went back to the like very long time ago when I think Veki was still in nothing to lose. And nothing to lose. I'm still playing professionally, like semi-professionally. This was a time where my team got wrecked by their team, and then we merged with Secret, and then we wrecked them back. So like, they are really the very, very old, like, veteran or so-called legends already. Like 2013, in fact, it's not even 2014. So these are really like they are trying to reform the team.
I think one of the more interesting changes is getting Nakji into the team. Do you guys think that's gonna have a big effect on how they like really want to play around the team? Like honestly, if you think, okay, from my point of view, if you see a team with Atup, you would probably expect them to play more around Atup, right? So do you think that Nakji is gonna demand a little bit more resources in the mid lane, or is it gonna be still the Atup show when you come to think of Form 1?
For me, I think that the team is still going to play around Atup, but now they have a second carry in the team. So it's like, Nakji has always been those kind of player that like, I'm there and I'm just solid. It's like, I'm not going to make very big plays, but I'm just there and I can do my job, those kind of player. So I still think this team is going to play around Atup since he's like he's the youngest player of the team, but still the most experienced player in the team. So yeah,
well, you have Sakit, who is old and also experienced.
Oh, and also experienced.
Ex-KLH players, you know.
KLH Shu. He was KLH Shu. Yeah.
Yeah, fun fact, Sakit is actually a KLH player in the past. Like for one very, very brief period.
Very, very short moment.
Known for his Leona support. That goes in and die. But yeah, I think this team is gonna play around Atup. Just for the fact that Atups have the carry potential that I don't think anyone in the team has. Nakji has always been a sustained kind of player. He doesn't really like have this clutch moment where he would just one man carry. There are some situations like when Nakji TP'd at the back and then flank the entire KLH squad last 2 years, 1 year ago. That was, I think, the only time there was a time where KLH lost during the group stage against Nakji's team. Forgot when already. I think that was winter season. Like, these are some of the clutch plays that he kind of do, but other than that, I don't see him coming up like huge, like killing everyone and then carrying the game from his back. I think most likely it's going to be from Atup, but Atup hasn't been top lane for a very long time, so I'm not too sure how will he perform on that aspect.
Right, alright. So since you brought it up, I want to touch really quickly on Orange Esports last season. I know it's kind of off topic, we're talking about TLC, but you did mention that Atup was. I see our heads trying to wiggle away right there. It's okay,
I think
he can
he's
stay in
listening.
frame.
He's listening.
Yeah, okay. So, really quickly, let's touch on. I know you have Zan, Ribena on your team as well, and Hookie as well. So, do you guys really have any insight or like your opinions on what really happened to the Orange roster last split? Because just based on players alone, like that seemed to be a very, very solid roster right there. But ultimately, they still didn't really do too well.
I don't really like go in depth into like asking them what actually happened, but from my perspective is I think during the Orange versus Festic game, they just couldn't handle Rexion. And what eventually happened to the team is that initially Atup didn't want to play anymore because his SPM is coming soon, so he wanted to take a break and study. And then I think after that, so what happened was I opened the applications for the new 5 Dragoon team that I'm trying to build, and Hockey applied. So Hockey went in. Tainted once, I think he wanted to go back to study. He wanted to be the collegiate level player already, so he don't want to go and play in TLC. So what he did was he left the team. So I think after that is like everyone decided to part ways. So what happened is after that, Zan and Ribena, Zan actually wanted to try for another team. I wonder which team is it, and then he didn't make it. So after that, like he approached Fire Dragoon and asked if we have any slots for them, which is also why right now Fire Dragoon has like 7 players in total, because we also wanted to try and mix and match the players. Yeah, so it's actually a very mutual decision for the team to like so-called like disband. But in terms of what happened in between, like what happens and why and that one I'm not too sure.
Alright, thanks for that. Okay, so since you brought up Rexion and SW, let's move on to the next team that we're going to talk about right now. It's going to be the new Orange Esports. formerly known as SW Sanguine Wolves, Swastik, yeah. Right now we see pretty much a similar roster. I would still, from my point of view, I would still like look towards Rexion, look towards Carino as the carries of the team. Do you guys want to touch on that a little bit? How do you think this team will want to play? Who do you think is going to be the standout performer, stuff like that?
For me, I think if they play to like how past season of TLC they will play, they are just going to play like, I'm going to pick a certain champion for Kirino or Rexion and just depend on them winning lanes and winning the game. That's how they have always been playing. The team for me is like, I don't think they put much thought into actually what they are picking or how they are actually going to play as a team. And since I believe one of the most important player of their team left, which is a China player, it's called Ajie.
Ghost Dance.
He's a veteran of player and also the caller, like the father figure of the team. So losing him, I think, will impact this team a lot, because now I think they really don't know how to actually draft or do anything anymore. So if they are going to go up high in TLC Malaysia, this split, I think, is still because their solo laner are simply better than most of the other Malaysian solo laners. Yeah.
Yeah, because even for the previous TLC, when we played against them, most of the games that Fire Dragoon managed to take away from Swastik is when Ajie is not playing, when Ghost Dance is not playing, because actually, like, Winter is very close with Swastik. He was kind of like helping them here and there, and they are also kind of close friends and everything. So we will know that the one who is pulling the team together is actually the support player, Ajie, Ghost Dance. So he's the one who will make decisions on how the team goes, what the team do, and from top to toe is planned by him. So right now, the question mark for this team will be, will Eilings be able to do that? Yeah, so that is the biggest question mark of the team. And fun fact, actually Nasi Lemak is also one of the previous Fire Dragoon player. That was Healing Slave, yeah. Changed his name to Nasi Lemak for some reason. So I think the problem of the strength of this team is definitely like every single lane in this roster is actually very strong individually.
Including
but
the
whether
bot
this bot lane right now, I'm not too sure, to be honest. I haven't been seeing Healing Slave play for a very long time. But previously, when he was in Fire Dragoon, he is more of the team fight AD carry. He's not the guy that will win the lane, but he's the guy that like will perform during team fights and stuff like that lah. But I think he left Malaysia for a brief period, and then when he came back, so now I'm not too sure about his standards lah. And
Go ahead.
Yep. And Eilings is considered good, but that's it. Like he won't give you like game-winning stuff unless he's on a trash where he can randomly hook an AD carry or something like that. So yeah, most of it is solo laners.
What about Snatcher?
Snatcher for me is like, he's always you would think that he must be good if he's always like up there on the top of ladder, right? But for me as jungler, nothing special. He's just there, like always he's there and he's always up there, but you don't know why he's good. Those kind of player, like, he's just a myth. For me, Malaysian player, we only talk about Malaysian level because I'm very conflicted, because like we are talking about good players in Malaysia, but I know these players are not considered good when it comes to LFL, so it's like I'm a bit conflicted. But yeah, they are considered good in Malaysia, and I think that the best jungler out of Caspio and Bunny in my team is the third best jungler is already in my team as well. So I'm not sure why Kelly is collecting all these jungler players. So
it's like jungler's trophy. But yeah,
I would think that the actual jungler that knows what he is doing is Wicked. This is the other jungler player that I think is good. So Snatcher, it's a me for me why he's always like there, but yeah.
I think the strength of Snatcher is not really because how we usually define junglers in Malaysia is how aggressive they are, how they can track the enemy jungler, kill them in their own jungle, or also to predict where the jungle goes. I feel like in terms of the invades, in terms of the aggressive jungler parting, Snatcher is not that kind of jungler. he is more of the kind of jungler that will react to how you want to play. Which is why every time when Wicked plays against Ben Shai, which means Snatcher, Wicked will lose. Because in Fire Dragoon last season, Wicked has the tendency to go very, very aggressive, and almost 90% of the time, Snatcher will be able to kind of know where he will go, and then he comes up with a counter gank and the entire jungle is lost. So when it comes to Snatcher, I think his strength actually lies on this ability to predict and to predict your enemy's jungle movement, and at the same time to counteract it. So he is not the very flashy kind of player where you will see him like Peanut going into other people's jungle, killing people and stuff like that. He's not those kind of jungle, which is also why I actually rate him considerably high in the Malaysian scene. But yeah, it's just a different kind of jungle.
But stylistically wise, wouldn't you say that fits what, like theoretically, okay, on paper, wouldn't that fit with what SW as Team Now Orange are trying to accomplish? If you want to play around your two strong solo laners, wouldn't a control style jungler work best for that?
Yeah, in some sense, I think it works best for the team because what he needs to do is basically to predict where their enemy jungler is, and then decide whether he wants to be there during a gank or to ask them to back off. So if the laners if he is able to control the two laners like Rexon and Kirino on how they want to play around the lane, then yeah, it's actually quite good. In fact, they've been playing this style for a very, very long time already. So it's kind of proven that he's there.
They've been playing the same style ever since they formed. So just now they lose one of their key member. That's all.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like the losing of Ghost Dance is one of the biggest factor of this team right now because I am not sure. I haven't seen them play yet. But I feel like without Ghost Dance, they will lose the direction and how they want to play the game. So it really depends on whether Eilings can direct the team on a specific direction or not.
So since we're on that topic, let's just throw it out there really quickly. Do you guys think that Orange Esports will be able to replicate their performance of last season, make it to finals or something along those lines? Or do you guys think they'll fall a little bit shorter?
I think no matter what, they will be top 4.
Yeah, I think they'll be top 4. But whether they go to finals or not depends on my Fire Dragoon team lah. Depends on the other lah. I think the top 4 is pretty much actually not really. I can guess the top 5, but in terms of who is gonna get knocked out, that one I'm really not sure right now.
Okay, we'll get to the top 4, top 5. We'll get to the power rankings later.
Yeah, that's why I did review. Waiting for later.
Alright, so let's... Okay, actually I want to touch on one last thing very quickly for Orange Esports side. With the meta kind of shifting a little bit, you can see stuff like Fiora come back a little bit more. Do you think the Rexion will actually be able to hard carry this team? Do you think that that's actually possible in the current meta, assuming not many changes?
It is possible. For me, I think it's possible because top laner in Malaysia are 2 question mark for me. The one who actually carries and pressure last split was him and Shiro. This just 2 players that actually actively trying to carry the team. So with the meta shifting more over to the carry side of top laners, I think it really favors Rexon as a player.
And the thing that it's a running joke inside FEG lah. The thing about Malaysian is that you can play whatever you want at the top lane and it will work out. Rexon has been playing random things at the top lane and he still managed to carry. So for Malaysia's level, I think yeah, he is able to do that. And Rexon, he knows how to carry from the top lane. He knows how to push the leads and everything as long as he's given the opportunity. So I think yeah, it can be a possibility for that to happen lah. But I think the question mark is always on Kirino this season because last season, Kirino is really not there at all.
Wow, the main reason why Swastik got destroyed so hard in the final was because Kirino was a non-factor in all 3 games.
It's he couldn't do anything at all. So that was the biggest problem last season. We can look into the bottom lane and everything lah, but I feel for the name that Kirino has for the past many seasons of TLC, last season was one of the worst that he had lah. And he needs to step it up if this team is to succeed, especially because they lost their shot caller and leader.
Okay, very insightful stuff. Okay, let's move on from Orange Esports right now. Let's go to the other top 4 team. I mean, we've kind of been jumping around a little bit, but since we're about to cover most of the top 4 teams, let's talk about Twice right now. Last season, they got 3rd, I believe. They finished over Fire Dragoon. So, I'm not trying to make a jab, it's just...
Yep.
Okay, so let's just jump out really quickly. I'm very unfamiliar with Twice, I'm very unfamiliar with their players, so I'll let you guys take the lead on this one. Playstyle wise, players to look out for, expected finish, stuff along those lines. Especially as this is what, their second split?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very interesting how they managed to finish that highly last split, and do you guys think they can replicate results like that this split again?
For me, even when I was Taiwan, I'm following very closely with the Malaysian scene, like really, like as if I'm still here, that kind of follow. So I see this team as like last season, I don't expect anything from them at all, and they sort of surprised me with the third place run. Like it's just like what, how, like, but how? And look at our player and look at our play style. They will just play like any mid lane, Lux mid lane, and then top lane we just don't take TP and all. It takes just flash goals, Darius, and all sort of stuff. Like it's like how, but like how do they manage to do this? So like it's
and
always like
a strong pick.
Like why would they be third place? And then and the only really close game that I reviewed was just the third fourth placing match, because I'm friend with Wicked, so I saw how he review and stuff, and it's like I just still don't understand how this team managed to go so high, because first their picks are weird. It's bad, it's just weird. And then the teams, I think they are just shocking a lot of teams that like why would you pick that? And then they're like wow why do you pick this champion? Like then they sort of become confused, and it worked. And
he Fire Dragoon and one shot my AD carry.
Fire Dragoon actually lost the game by one Baron call, so like they actually supposed to win the third place matching, but they messed up the shot calling, so Twice got the third place. Yeah.
I think it's also a little bit of luck in some sense, because when they faced Mineski X in the quarterfinals, Mineski X got a 1-game ban. Right. So like for a team that plays so many different kind of weird picks, unorthodox picks, I guess what happened to Mineski was they kind of like got outdrafted. I wouldn't want to use the word outdrafted, but it's more like cheesed. So what happened is they already have 1 game lost, and then they lose another game. So what happened is, I guess they just couldn't recover from the 2 games deficit. Then pressure got to the Mineski X squad. So, and then they proceed to the semi-finals where they lost, and then against Fire Dragoon. Insider info is that like Fire Dragoon just did not have the drive to play anymore at that time. Although I was trying to tell them to, hey, like this is the most important match of your season, because as an organization, third place is like 20 times better than fourth place. I told them that, but we can see that players are not playing the game anymore. They are just like trying to slack off. Some of them say they got exams and everything, so they didn't train at all. They didn't actually like work for it, so they got punished about it. So I guess like they got a little bit lucky, but at the same time, I don't want to take away I don't want to take away anything from them. I feel like WoW is actually not bad, and Coco at top lane at that time was actually decent, which is why I took him.
So let's talk about
the
right
game
now.
Twice lose is they always lose when they get destroyed when they lose, but when they win is a very full-fledged count fiesta. So it's something like that, yeah.
They just do all random things and it just randomly wins the game.
Like, they just make the game and go full solo queue, and then they have experience.
In
the unicorn of love of Malaysia.
Right.
Yeah. Like in the fourth placing, suddenly they just pull off a Kled, and then the Kled just wreck Exile like nobody's business. Exile cannot do anything at all. So like this kind of things happen now.
Okay, let's talk about picks very quickly. Top 4 placing match. Lux, 3 games? He played 3 games in the best of 5, right? If I'm not wrong.
I think yeah, he played a lot.
Do you guys have any opinion on the Lux pick in particular? Because like, okay, he has a lot of weird picks, like Lissandra, which is not in the meta, Annie, stuff like that. But Lux is something that he kept going back to. Are there any strengths in that champion, or is it just like one of his just solo queue and win it games?
Lux, yes, a champion is very good when it comes to catching out 1 people or sieging in front of a turret. He's a strong champion when it comes to this. But the reason why he's not a meta pick is because his mana cost is very high, and he cannot wave clear the backline minion at Never line as a mid lane champ. You you are going to lose a lot of push advantage just through that. So it's a very one-dimension champion that if it snowballs, it goes uncontrollable. If it snowballs, it's like QER and you're dead. Constantly you are dead and it keep refreshing. That's why a lot of Lux players like to buy Magi because it snowballs so hard as Lux. But if you are 4 behind, you can't do anything at all. And which means mid laner in Malaysia is not good enough to punish Lux when she's weak. And she always go to what she's good at and just snowball from the champion itself. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that also highlights the problem of like Winter's laning, where he would constantly not punish openings, because the way Fire Dragoon play in the past was we will rely on Wicked and Exile to like push the lane at the top lane, and then Winter will be there just to sustain the lane. But what happened in that match was that Exile is losing his lane, Winter is also losing his lane, or like in some ways even. So what happens is the Lux pick, although it's has its flaw, like it is not being punished, and then the top lane just lost. So if that's happened, then like these kind of things happen lah. So I guess it's more like Malaysians don't really know how to punish certain picks, and they will just use it. Fun fact: the twice mid laner is only platinum. He's not even a diamond player. He's a plat player.
Isn't there like a minimum ranking to get into TLC?
Last TLC there's none.
Nothing.
Last season, I think it's gold or something.
Oh wow.
Now it raised to plat 3, I think.
To beat him. But yeah, last season like we do not have this minimum ranking thingy, so like this team actually managed to go in, and he is legitimately platinum level only. He's not even a diamond player.
It's not even a diss, he is plat.
Yeah, he is plat.
Interesting.
I mean,
stuff.
this is what Neko told me. Neko told me, hey, my mid laner last time plat only, still win you. So I'm like, okay. But yeah, I think
does he use that as leverage when he's trying to play stuff like Darius top and everything? He's like, hey, we warn you guys. It works.
Yeah, so he's trying to play Darius now.
So
In him tomorrow, better than Darius.
So let's move on to the next team right now. Since we're talking about Fire Dragoon, we'll move on to Fire Dragoon. I want to start off with Nico in the top lane. So since we're talking on that topic anyway, does he have any issues, I would say, assimilating with a more professional environment compared to Twice, which is more of a, I hope it's like I'm accurate here in saying they're more of a casual team.
Yeah, it is a casual team.
Right. So does he have any issues with the change of environment, or is he very committed to what he wants to achieve with Fire Dragoon?
I think so far, like how Neko has been like meshing with the team is pretty okay. Of course, there's a bit of age gap between the oldest and the youngest player, but like what I told the team is that like, all of us are here for one aim, so we just have to work towards that direction. So
how
like
old
most
is
of them,
Neko?
Neko is underage. He's 18 this year, but not yet birthday.
I see.
So it's considered 17 in Malaysia law.
He's underage, cannot sign contract, but just enough to play GPL.
Yes. Just enough as a GPL.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's that young. Also, like for JLKC, Vita, they are all below the age
I see.
of signing contracts, which is why also like a lot of issue when we come to contracts. But yeah, like the younger players are those three, and then the others are all rather older.
So with the 7 players, are you guys actually going to be rotating, or is it more of like a sub kind of thing? A sub for your main roster?
We have yet to actually decide on like how we want to go about it, but right now we are still rotating the players to find out what exactly you want to, like how exactly you want to play. But right now the mid lane is confirmed already. Mid lane, jungle, top. Actually most of it is confirmed lah. Most of it is
He
confirmed.
just doesn't want to leave.
Yeah, understandable.
It's not confirmed, but it's like we are still open to give the like the players who are not in the main lineup to actually step up, because we do not want to like say, hey, you're not in the main roster anymore. Like you can just come to office and chill there. We don't want that to happen. So whenever a player starts to like we realize that he's ramping up in his level of play, then we will actually put him in. In fact, they are still sharing the screen times. That's how we manage.
Yeah, I think that's honestly a very great way to do things. It allows both players in the same role to push themselves even harder and stuff like that. So yeah, okay, that's interesting. Are you guys the first team in Malaysia to do that? Because to my knowledge, KLH doesn't rotate players, right?
Last time we tried.
Last time we tried.
But not this iteration of KLH.
Now we have one more jungler player. We will put him out if we decide we want to. Yeah.
If you decide you want to.
Yeah.
I think he wants to play against FPG.
Because KLH had yet to done any perfect season. So we are very careful on that. Like, we want perfect season, but we don't want the new player to feel bad. And like, do you know how stressful for a new player if you lose a game on the best team in Malaysia? So you need to be careful about that. And a lot of discussion will come later on when we go deep into TLC.
And this is why, like, in the previous KLH iteration, we didn't want to also swap players in and out, because like their aim is really, they need to show that they are the best. Meanwhile, like for FDG, although we are a full-time team, we do not have any like track record saying that we are the best team in Malaysia. So we are allowed to actually play around with the roster to experiment with a certain kind of style and see how it works. In fact, no one will expect FDG to get like first at all. If we got first, it's the biggest upset of the century in League of Legends Malaysia.
Yeah, look at my face. Is this the face of mercy?
Hashtag mercy.
Yeah.
Alright, so I remember something you actually said on Camus' podcast, which I found very interesting and I found very true as well. You mentioned that no professional team, no full-time team should ever be losing games to amateur teams. Something along those lines, right? So, this season coming to TLC, am I right to say that you guys are very confident against all your opponents except KLH? I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but
I wouldn't say that we are confident, but like in terms of our own internal goal, in fact, this was even done in KLH in the past. Like, we are not supposed to lose to any other teams who are not playing full time. Like, this is a basic goal for me. Like, in every single team that I went, which is pro, which is playing full time, because like you are given the time advantage to study, to play, and then to also like train. And then you are given so many other facilities that people do not have, so there's really no reason for them to lose.
The only way that a full-time team can lose to an amateur team, right, is two. Like, first of it, your player basic is already too low. His basic skill is too low. Second is the full-time training, right, is not healthy. Like, it's unproductive at all. Like, whenever you go into the scrim, you just learn nothing, and no one is trying to settle a team. And there are teams that go full times and collapse just because the player don't listen to each other and they just don't gel as a team. Yeah.
There's two ways lah. Like, one is your players are not good enough. Two is your management is not good enough. So if it comes to the point where we realize that, hey, this team is really not performing at this stage, then we would really need to find a way to troubleshoot the problem. So is the problem the players who are just not good enough mechanically, they do not have the talent, or is it like the management is not doing their job? So it's always this two part. So like the conclusion can only be drawn after the season. But right now for Fire Dragoon, our aim is like we shouldn't lose to any amateur teams. Of course, like the team has only started like 2-3 weeks, so there is a leeway given like for the players and all. But at the end of the day, when it comes to the last during the playoffs and everything, then we expect the team to be at the very least second place.
So, wouldn't you say that a third factor would be cheese? Or do you expect like a full-time team, a professional team to be solid enough, to have their fundamentals solid enough that that's not really a factor?
It's pretty hard to cheese in this season because every game is best of 2.
Oh, does it go by the old OGN format where like you 2-0, you get 3 points, you 1-1, you get 1 point?
Yeah.
I see.
And then the TLC format is like BO2. Each team face each other BO2 once, I think. Yeah. And then it ends, and then the top 4 go to the playoff.
Yeah. The playoff is
a gauntlet. So it's like if you are actual second place, you make it to the second place, because it's no longer like 1-4 and then like 2-3. So whoever who meet the first is quite doomed to be third and fourth. And now it's like fourth against third, fourth against third, second
winners against second.
Yeah, and then so if you are actually second place, you
are legitimately the second place, which is like
something like that.
I feel like this is the best way to do the Malaysian circuit, especially because there's a Kuala Lumpur Hunters in existence. Like the moment you meet Kuala Lumpur Hunters, you know that you're screwed. Like you can try as a team, as a competitor, you have to try to beat them, but deep inside we know we are screwed lah. And that was what happened to Fire Dragoon like last season also, because in the semi-finals we met KLH and then we just lost. Like we tried lah, they actually went hardcore training for an entire week. Some even skipped their classes, although there's exam like after that and stuff like that. But we know deep inside is that we are still no match at that point. And after that, because they put so much and then they failed, so it brought forward to the third, fourth placing match.
So that puts a lot more pressure on each individual game as a whole. So I think that comes back to Veki's point as well. Like, if you guys want to put in a new jungler, but every game in the group stage counts towards your ultimate placing, so doesn't that put a lot of pressure on, especially Fire Dragoon as a team, if you guys want to start rotating players around?
This one, honestly, I try to hands off because I'm actually letting Winter to decide on this guy roster.
Okay.
I'm letting the team and Winter to discuss and decide on what they want to do. Because in as much as I want to bring up the league team in Fire Dragoon, like I have a lot of other things in the office that I have to do. Right. So I'm trying to hands off a little bit here and there, so that like they can make their own decisions. I'm just there to advise. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the two players that we have to touch on for this team. The Chan brothers.
You mean me?
The other two Chan brothers. The ones that are still good.
My life. Overshadowed by the two guys.
Are they... Okay, I'm not too sure how to exactly phrase this question. Okay, since they're coming in from constantly playing as amateurs, constantly playing and having to deal with other schedules, this is their first time on a full-time professional team, am I right?
Yeah.
So, do you expect them to... And this question goes to Veki as well, since I guess you've laned against them in the past before. So, do you think that these are two players that really have a lot of potential to reach a higher level than, let's say, pretty much almost every other player in Malaysia has reached? Because they've done very well in the past, given other issues with their own life, their timing, school, stuff like that as well.
I would say these two players, Zen and Rapina, if they actually don't have to study, KLH will be much stronger at 2014 because they are just... I would say they are really, really the talent of Malaysia. Like these players are the talents, and it's very hard to find this kind of talent in Malaysia. So it's such a waste that they have to study until this long that they actually got over their peak form already. I would say they are no longer at really that time where they are like this good that they can compete against a lot of other region players. They are now just very good in Malaysia, but because they have went over their peak. But since Zay has always been good, but Rabina sort of keep role swapping and he can't find his place, and then he just all the way just went down. But Zay has always been his form. He's always there. And now they really try really hard to like their last chance. I think it's very possible that they can show their really true form this split. Yeah. But they are really wasted talent. If they actually play pro, I think KLH as a whole would go much further quicker because we will have no problem in our roles early on of the game. But I think now overall KLH is fine with what we have now. Yeah.
So let's talk about individual wise. Like Zan and Rabina, like you said, the talent of Malaysia. You call them the talent of Malaysia. Do you think right now in this TLC, let's just rank the players, okay? Compared to Zan and Rabina, including KLH members, who do you think like would overshadow them in terms of individual mechanics? Or is there no one?
The talents that I know in Malaysia is Kirino is always the one who's talked about, but I don't think he's growing. He's growing, but he's not growing in an effective way. So he's just sort of wasting his talent. He has actual talent of the game, but it's just he don't have the maturity of what Zay have to constantly push himself if he's not studying. He's studying, it took a lot of time from him, so he sort of dropped in forms. But if Kino have the maturity or guidance that actually foster her as a talent, I think he's the other bigger talent in Malaysia. And Rexion is good, but Rexion has very problematic playstyle.
Yeah, very
His
glaring
playstyle
mistake.
is very hard to match. So he's a talent, but he's a very hard kind of match kind of talent. And personally, I would really look forward to see how the rookie of Fire Dragon, the JLKC, play as a mid laner, because I have never heard him before. And mid laner is, no matter which meta you play in, mid laner is always the best role or second best shining role in the teams, and it's always the carry role of the team, unless you play Lulu or Karma, this kind of solo champion. So I'm very looking forward to see how JLKC can perform, and as a mid laner is the most easy role to see whether that player is good or not, because mid is the most demanding role in league. So yeah.
Jeffrey, do you have
JLKC.
anything to
JLKC.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I've went through a lot of people and I see a lot of like different players, play styles and everything. I can tell you that JLKC is one of a kind, but whether he can perform on stage or not, that is another question. Those who have screamed against him would know like his capabilities and all. Like, if Zay is able to say, "Hey JLKC, take my spot, I'll go to the jungle," like, that is how much trust that he can put onto him. So he is actually, like, the Fire Dragoons article, they say player to watch is Neko, but for me it's JLKC, because I feel like if he is able to do what he is able to in scrims or like in his normal days during the trials and everything, I think he's gonna be a big name for the next. Like,
Player to watch is JLKC. Player's face to watch is Neko. That's all. Yeah.
You know, like, the boss of Fire Dragoon actually say, "I support Neko fan club." They actually created a fan club just for him.
Wow.
After they thought, "Oh, this guy is handsome, let's create a fan club for him." So in our organization, there's a running joke. Then there's a Vita fan club and Neko fan club. They're two fighting for fans.
Alright, so do you guys have anything?
Face Neko win, so Vita GG.
Do you guys have anything else to add for the topic of Fire Dragoon? If not, we're gonna close this one on and we're gonna move to the next teams.
Oh,
So expected placing top 2.
Second.
Second.
Second or third?
have to second. Like, I'm not talking from a manager point of view or from a player point of view, but even if I'm not managing Fire Dragoon, like, you would expect a full-time team to go second.
Wait, Veki, you said second or third. So if Fire Dragon gets third, who upsets them?
Swastik.
Orange.
Yeah. Orange Swastik, yeah.
Okay. So let's move on to the other 2 teams we haven't touched on yet. Eternity as well as Nirvana. Eternity was J&J, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm not gonna cover the 2 teams as in depth, so we'll just like do it as a combined thing. Do you guys have anything to talk about for like how you guys expect both of these teams to perform, individual players, stuff like that?
I haven't heard much about J&J lah. Like, I don't really take note of their players, but as far as I know, like, they are also a very mid lane centric team. Like, Wendy is supposedly the star of the team and also one of the up and rising player for Malaysia.
Wendy is the new Kirino of Malaysia.
Yeah.
He's 15 years old now. He's not Kirino anymore. Yeah.
He's the 15-year-old Kirino.
Yeah. So it's like Kirino is take place one by one. Last time it's me, and now it's Kirino, and now it's Wendy. Yeah.
So, like, this is supposedly how Eternity Esports work, and I would say like all their players are actually mechanically decent. So I'm not sure how the team will work out. I think, but they did beat like Mineski during the qualifiers, so they were the champions of the TLC qualifiers. So I would expect something from them.
They beat 4mod as well, I'm reading right now.
Yeah, they were the champion. They beat everyone in the group. So if you want to line it up this way, like among the bottom 4 team, they are the top. So they are at least 5th place if you look into the TLC qualifiers. But we will not know what happens in the TLC.
Of course.
We are doing power ranking later, right? Yeah.
Okay, so Nirvana right now. Same questions.
Which is Mineski.
Mineski, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, do you guys know why the new name? Why they don't call themselves Mineski?
I know.
Like-
I also know.
Or you can't...
I don't think I can tell.
Yeah. I know, but I don't think can say. Yeah.
Alright then.
Yeah.
So, yeah, don't want to tell.
Shine and Zeno are on Nirvana now as well.
Ex-Fire Dragoon players.
Yeah, exactly. Ex-Fire Dragoon players.
Do you realize all the talents come from Fire Dragoon? Hey.
Interesting.
But yeah, I think like Nirvana's roster is pretty okay. The thing about them is, I always feel like they are very passive team for some reason. Like everyone tells me about how aggressive they play, how dominant are they, but to me they are a very reactive team, and I think this would actually harm them in the long run.
For me, I think Nirvana Zeno is the best up and coming support player in Malaysia. I think he is the best support outside of KLH. That's how high I rate him. And then for the problem with Nirvana, even when back in Mineski, was always that when they will manage to clinch the champion as Mineski in SCG, that time was a time where when Shine was a very hard carry player. But when they start losing is because Shine sort of stopped shining, and then their mid laner, their jungler, I think is their biggest problem, because their jungler is roll a dice. Can you do something this game? Roll dice. Can you do something this game? Roll dice. And it's like they are so inconsistent and passive. It's all because of their jungler and how they react with their solo laners. And since they rely so much on Shine to shine anyway, and now Shine is sort of falling off his form, and their jungler is still inconsistent, it hurt a lot of their performance.
So you're gonna expect Nirvana to drop?
I expect Nirvana to be at bottom 5. Bottom 4, yeah. Bottom 4, yeah.
Bottom 4.
Yeah.
Oh, bottom 4.
It's top 4 and bottom 4, yes.
Actually, I'm looking at the article right now. It says the player to watch is their new AD carry, Milo, with like an A in there for some reason. Have you guys had any experience with him?
No.
Nothing?
Nope.
And I personally, after I went to Taiwan, I just think that bot lane talent in Malaysia is close to zero.
Yes.
No one knows how to play bot lane at all.
Yes.
So are you
That's
gonna
why
expect to just
I
dump?
don't expect any. I think Zeno is good, but I don't think any player other than Zeno know how to play bot lane.
Okay. So with that, we will move on to the last team that we haven't covered yet. We saved the best for last. Kuala Lumpur Hunters, your team, Veki. No changes from last season except for yourself, am I correct?
Except for me and adding in the new
Alright,
player.
yeah, adding in the new player as well. But honestly, Caspiel is going to be seeing most of the playtime, so not too many changes there, I would say. So do you expect yourself to have a different AD carry playstyle? Do you expect the team to play differently around AD carry this season?
For me, I'm still learning ADC on a higher level, but the level I am now as an ADC I would say that if I don't win 50 CS in TLC game, consider I lost. Because I know how high level I am as the bot lane player, is not as an ADC. I don't think my mechanic is like as crazy as those Korean ADC level. No, I'm not as good as them, but the knowledge I have for bot lane is too much. And since Bipolar is already a very good support player, even though he's the first time playing, he learns so fast together that KLH might see a very bot-centric playstyle in the future, if we have to. Because I don't like this kind of playstyle, it's very unhealthy for a team, because what is the difference of this playstyle compared to what last time how I played with Jaeyoung, right? Yeah. If we really have to, we do this, but for now, the game is still... How well KLH can play relies a lot on how well Caspiel can play. Caspiel is the carry of the team throughout the long time, and he's the best player in Malaysia in talents wise. He's the only player that can reach Challenger in Korea, which I have not been able to achieve so long, even though I go to Taiwan. So it's like he's very talented, but he's inconsistent because the region Malaysia is not giving him any challenge at all. So it's more like those kind of things that he's very good, he's so good, but no one is punishing his mistake. It's very hard for him to know which mistake is actually very crucial for a team. So it comes a lot into screaming better opponent and stuff. So I would say that carry is so good is because Caspiel. He can really do a lot of team, and even against crazy team like GM, he still do so much. And the keys of the teams, the rookies of team, I would say Shiro and Ahish step up a lot. I mean, Ahish is not really a rookie, but he's a rookie when it comes to playing mid professionally. So he completely destroyed Kirino in the finals, and is like destroyed, like not even close. It's a storm. So how well and how far KLH can go as a team depends on how well our solo laners can improve in the few months period. Yeah.
But wouldn't you say that, like, to some extent, Shiro as well as RH, both of their performances come from or like off of what Caspiel is accomplishing in the jungle?
Yes. This is part of why KLH player can learn so much, because there are a lot of experience and knowledge. There are funny things like Caspiel legit have to say like, hey, mid and top, I think you guys can TP here and help out. Then they just do it. Sometimes they don't even notice that they can TP. It's not like bashing them as a player, it's just a difference in knowledge. Caspiel just knows so much about the game. Yeah.
Like Caspiel has been the one who is actually controlling the entire early game of KLH for the past don't know how many years. Like ever since he stepped into the jungle, he's the one that controls.
Even though as a mid laner, he was the one who controlled the early game. I always been the mid lane guy, mid lane kind of shot caller. And if your jungler is a very good shot caller, your team is going to be very strong when it comes to early game aggressiveness and stuff.
Which is why I don't understand why people always say, oh, the star player of KLH is this person. Then I'm like, bro, it's Caspiel. But then no one actually highlights him. And I think he is like very, very underrated in Malaysia. Like even the entire region, like everyone feels like he's just a jungler, but
not after that GPL performance.
Yeah.
So do you know who shot caught mid to late game for KLH last split?
Him and Bipolar.
So with you coming on, you'll take more of an active role in that as well?
Yeah.
I see. Okay. So, I mean, I would say let's do predictions for KLH, but that's pretty obvious. We're all expecting KLH to get first. Do you expect that to be a significant challenge or a relevant enough challenge from any of the teams?
I would say that KLH respect all the every teams and respect the effort they are putting in the scene. But for us, we expect a perfect season, and this is at the least of our goal, because our goal is actually going to Worlds. So perfect season, a TLC is already the least stepping stone of our goals already. Yeah.
So not a single game?
Yeah, we are aiming to not drop a single game.
Alright.
And in a dominant fashion.
Well, based off the last GPL performance, it could be possible. So if we say player to watch from KLH, I know like you're one of the players as well, but okay, let's say Veki, you can't say yourself. Not that you were going to, but you can't say yourself. Who would you say is the player to watch for your team?
Since Caspiel is already known, so
yeah, you don't have to watch Caspiel.
Yeah, you don't have to say Caspiel.
It's automatic there.
I would say that it's really up to the two rookie in the team, Shiro and Aish. Like these two players are super important for a team because solo laner are so important. If they can improve to a point that they can challenge internationally, going to Worlds for KLH is not a problem.
Pick one, Shiro or IH?
I would say IH. Just like the article.
Jeffrey, do you agree?
I will look at Veki because like he's the only one who is not in the KLH roster previously. Like we know RH is actually pretty good. Like we know Shiro can handle his stuff. So the only question mark right now in KLH is Veki. And with all the LMS experience, all the extra things that you learn from LMS, I think like these are like definitely he's the one to watch. Like I mean, we know how big is the difference between the bot lanes in Malaysia compared to other regions. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Like most of the time, last time when KLH loses scrim, it's because like our bot lane got stormed, or top lane got stormed, mid lane got stormed. So like if you have this kind of knowledge on how to play the lane, I think like the bot lane is the lane to watch. for
Do
KLH.
you think that that's gonna help the whole Malaysia scene as a whole because of like one particular bot lane has this experience, has this knowledge? Do you think the other teams are in good enough a position to learn from it, or do you think that they are like too far behind or too?
It comes to what kind of detail they are looking at. If they just lose, I know there are players just lose lane and things like just the champion or just this or just you hook it hook I lose or something like that. But if you really look at detail how to position the lane and what matters early on, like just by standing and positioning and wave control, you can win the lane a lot. And legit no one in Malaysia knows. I am very sure of that because even last time the best bot lane in Malaysia don't know it. And that's how I see a difference between LMS player and the C server ADCs. Not C, only Malaysia, okay? Not to offend every other region. So it's like, it's really not the mechanic. It's more than the mechanic. It's like you are losing just by knowledge. You're just losing knowledge. Before the game you start, right, you already lose this much. And then I don't need much mechanic if I already win this much in terms of knowledge. Yeah.
I think someone told me before, like when it comes to League of Legends, if you want to get better, honestly, just study the game. You can always scale by knowledge. You don't really need the mechanics until you reach the like very, very high level of play. Then all those small details count. But like simple things like honestly wave control, like cooldowns and everything, that can already win you the lane. And that is a lot of that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand in Malaysia.
Yeah, there was one player that asked me, I wouldn't say him, asked me how to play a lane. I'll say that. Do you study enemy champion has what kind of cooldowns? This is the first thing that people don't just what use of it. He dare to say what use of it. I like, you know when you don't have spell you cannot trade, right? So is it useful? They don't capitalize on that time. Like let's say enemy play trash. He hook is on 20 seconds. Means if you really understand the 20-second cooldown, or after he hook he miss, the all 19 seconds you can play so aggressive that trash can't do anything to you. There's just simple fact like that people just don't care.
Yeah.
Right, so I guess that really concludes most of the topic that we're talking on as well. So, I mean, we kind of covered this a little bit during the show, but let's do a proper one. Let's do a proper power rankings for this split of TLC. We'll start with Jeffery once again. Let's just go down the list. Who do you think is going to be first, second, and so on?
Let me look for the list of teams first. I think the first is very clear. It's going to be KLH. And then you go down to Fire Dragoon. Probably next will be Orange, followed by... I would want to put 4 more, but I think Eternity proved themselves in the group, the promotional, so I put them. I'll put Eternity. And then Nirvana 4 more, Climax and Twice. I rate Twice 8.
Do you guys have like relegations, like bottom 2 drop out or bottom 4 drop out? Or
Top 4
like
stay in TLC. Bottom 4 drop. They need to play Challenger Series again. Yeah.
Okay. So
I think the only thing I would argue for this power ranking is the 4th and 5th place. It's either gonna be Eternity, Formod, or Nirvana, which I will put it on Eternity for now.
Okay. Veki, your turn. You can start from number 2.
Number two and 3, Fire Dragoon or Orange Esports Static. Depend. This one is really depend. This one really cannot see. But I would believe at the end of a split it will be Fire Dragoon just because they are full-time player.
Right.
And then fourth is going to be Eternity Sports for me, since they actually perform really well in the Challenger Series. And 5th for me would be Nirvana Gaming. 6th would be Formod. 7 would be Twice. 8 would be Climax.
You're actually putting Formod quite low on this list. Is there like your particular take on that?
I just think that their Challenger Series performance and their player are just not really scary. It's just not scary enough. Yeah.
Do you think it's kind of... Sorry.
I feel like Formod is just a good team, and there's no like super strong what do you call that, areas where you can highlight about them. And if you're talking about Atub, then there's also like Eternity Timber is actually quite good. Shine is actually quite good. Then you look down the road, like the top lanes are actually pretty stacked this season for Malaysia. So like, I would if Atup is an AD, then probably yes, he might be able to carry from the AD position. But from the top lane, I think it's pretty hard. And Natji is not the shining star, you see.
Do you really think that Atup's AD is more likely to carry than his top lane? Or is it just because of the player pool? Because I personally felt that Atup's AD was significantly a downgrade from his top lane, just in general quality.
The thing about his top lane is, like, I've been playing with him for some time. I played with him, I managed him, I like watch his game and all. His top lane is also very tilty, like very, very inconsistent. So if he gets a lead, he can really push it. But if that person really knows how to play against his style of top lane, then he would face a problem. So I think that's one factor that is a question mark for me.
Okay. If Atup never leans sword, right, then his top lane will be much better now. His talent is sort of messed up because he don't have any guidance and he just leans sword because he has good mechanics. That's all what he does. That's why his strength is sort of, instead of sharpen, it become dull. How to say the dull kind of
dull
work. Dull down, yeah. DULL.
Right.
Dull down already, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's
okay,
what I think
so since we're kind of on the topic a little bit, let's do the last one before we wrap this segment up. Let's do a little bit of like top 3, top 4 of each role. We don't have to cover all the teams. Just who do you think are the top 3, top 4 players in each role, and we'll cover bot lane as a whole. So
top
who wants to start with this?
Of each role?
Yeah, top 3 or top 4 of each role.
Let me see a player a bit. Top lane, start with top lane first. Shiro, top 1. And then Shiro is the top laner in my opinion, and the other one should be top lane. If Atup is playing, maybe second. Then third should be Neko, and fourth is XL playing.
I don't think so.
Yeah, then it's very limited top lane talent this season.
Yeah, Rexion, no?
Rexion, yeah. I forgot.
So Rexion's fourth.
So now I have 4 players. Let me rearrange.
Okay.
Shiro, and then Rexion and Neko on the same place, and Atup. This, you know why they are good? Because they are the only top laner that had carry a game. They are actually the top laner in Malaysia that actually carried a game before. So other top laner is like, I'm just there and just there, and honorable mention is Shine. Honorable mention Shine. If he can shine, then yes.
Jeffery, what about your top lane?
Yeah, your top lane.
Shiro is definitely at the top lah. Then I think after that it will be Neko, Rexion.
Same. Okay.
Atup is fourth lah. That's how I'll put it.
Okay. And then jungle? For both of you?
Same basically the same.
Jungle is gonna be Caspiel lah. Caspiel.
Jungler for me is Caspiel. Second is Zeh. Just by how experienced and talented he is, I think he can be better than Wicked. So Wicked is third. So fourth. Let me see the fourth player a bit.
I would push Snatcher.
Yeah, Ben Chai. Yeah. I keep forgetting him. Oh my god. I keep forgetting the orange.
Because he's a non-existent jungler.
Just not a shining light of the team. But
I want to see how. Yeah, but I want to see how WoW actually improved. Like his previous season was actually quite okay, man.
So he's the honorable mention. WoW.
Yeah. I think he can improve. So I think that one we can have a look at it.
So your list is basically the same as well.
That was my list. He copied me.
Honorable mention WoW and Arashi.
Okay, mid lane.
Mid lane.
Are we gonna go 3 for 3 KLH? RH?
Mid lane, RH, and
mid lane is actually pretty.
Kirino.
But there's a question mark over Kirino.
No, I'm not sure where to place, but he's definitely on the list. Because I need to find the 4th player first.
Okay.
IH Kirino. I would say that mid-lane talent in Malaysia very questionable. IH Kirino, and then 2 not sure. Like
Okay.
Wendy, JLKC, not sure. Then
It's clear cut lah, where the gap is.
I'm not sure. Then
Nirvana's mid lane?
Nawana's mid-lane is a new player. He's very young as well actually, Big J.
Yeah.
he's
Actually
also-
quite potential.
Yeah. So it's like
Quite potential.
very hard for me to list this because I know mid lane, and then I know that this player, right, if he comes to international, right, is not like major, it's like GPL only, they will get destroyed. Like this, that's why like IH and Kirino, I know they can play against international opponent, then the other is like question mark. Just question mark, yeah.
Jeffrey, IH Kirino?
I support my own team. Kirino is not in the list. It's
Not
gonna
in
be
the list.
It's gonna be RH. It's gonna be RH, JRKC, and then I would put Wendy. I'll put these 3.
So Kirino
Fourth,
fourth?
probably Big Jazz.
Wow.
Kirino is a bit too
2 question mark for you.
question mark for me to put it in, honestly. And I don't know how serious is he taking for this season. So I do not want to put it in the list right now.
I'm really excited to watch JLKC. I'm always excited to watch mid-laners. Yeah, that's why.
He's actually, yeah, pretty good. I actually hope that he can show what he is capable of.
Yeah.
I
For bot
really
lanes?
look forward to it tomorrow.
Let's do bot lanes.
Bot lane.
Yeah. Are we gonna put Veki and Bunny?
That one is my list. I think we are going to crush every single bot lane. It's crush. And then it's like, and other is like,
Honestly, there's no good bot lanes right now, I feel.
other is like, Swastik, maybe Swastik, maybe Z. Okay, second or third is either Mineski bot lane or Orange Esport bot lane. Then Fire Dragon should be 4th. If Artup is playing ADC, maybe top 4 as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
that's-
just the KLH bot lane, and then there's a very big gap between everyone.
LH and the rest.
LH and these 3 teams, yeah. These 3 teams like, okay. Actually, I think Xeno can carry bot lane quite hard. And then Eiling's Grace and Nasi Lemak, I'm not sure who is playing. It depends on how they perform, and I think Vita is actually considered a good ADC player in Malaysia. That's what I can know. He's actually considered good in Malaysia. Then the other, if After is playing, like what I said just now, yeah. Then
Okay.
just other is just there.
Okay, so do you guys have anything else to add about this whole TLC Malaysia as a whole? If not, we're gonna close the segment here.
Very interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah, very interesting for Malaysian to watch.
So when are both of your first games
Tomorrow.
for all the viewers? What time and where can they watch it?
I think it's 7:30.
Oh, you actually watch Fire Dragon and Kuala Lumpur Hunters straight away. Friday.
Oh really? Is that the first
2nd
game?
2nd June, 6:30.
That's next week.
Yeah.
That's next week.
No, 2nd June is Nirvana and Fire Dragon first game.
Yeah.
And then later on is Formal and Kuala Lumpur Hunters. So you get to see
Formal
the
and
2 professional teams play
Nice.
first. Interesting.
Alright. So for anyone who wants to watch that, it's gonna be on watch.garena.com. The YouTube link is... Ooh, that's so weird. I think it's LOL Esports Sam. Yeah, the YouTube link should be LOL Esports Sam, and if you guys want the URL, it's watch.garena.com. So be sure to watch both KLH and Fire Dragoon as they come into their first game. As Veki said, this should be a very interesting TLC Malaysia. And thanks everyone for watching this.